Find out which songs and musical performers are this year's winners of the American Music Awards.
And the winner is?
Oh, I just hear it.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I'm just getting here. I was in the back, and I had to run up here to get this award, so traffic is really terrible. On behalf of ARC, Columbia Records, my brother Maurice White, all the cats in the band, Johnny, Al, Larry, Philip, Freddie, I'm trying to name everybody. We'd like to thank you very much, and we're going to try to keep up the good level of music. We love you. Thank you.
Online Entertainment presents Freeze Frame. Our guests are super recording group Earth, Wind, and Fire.
We can't do a show without the audience. The audience is the key factor in the whole thing.
Stay tuned for Earth, Wind, and Fire next on Freeze Frame. Freeze Frame visits Earth, Wind, and Fire, a group whose strong spiritual bonds and innovative recording excellence have distinguished them as leaders in today's music.
Where did Earth, Wind, and Fire come from? I mean, did that come out of a dream or out of a... Where did it...
I think Earth, Wind, and Fire came out of a need. A dual need. A need for myself as an individual to realize my total potential, in a sense of speaking. And also, from another sense, it came from a part of me wanting to render itself to humanity. That's why we have the message music and the whole thing of associating us with a spirituality concept. You know what I'm saying?
There's certain pace setters in the group. Maurice is definitely the pace setter in Earth, Wind, and Fire in the organization. Larry Dunn and Philip Bailey. I think in the band, I think that nucleus, you know, along with the stuff that I do with the show, they set the pace. Everybody falls in line on that pace.
The Earth, Wind, and Fire show seems to have kind of a spiritual thing about it. Where do you stand as far as that goes?
The way I look at our show, the whole thing is spiritual. The lights and everything, because it appeals to people's dreams. You know what I mean? Because, see, I always thought, and I always still think that in the world of realities, there are many different realities. Your realities are different than mine are different than yours, but we all have one dream. So I try to, in my input with the show, stress to the cats in the band, let's appeal to their dreams. Whatever they're dreaming about, man, let them be that dream for 2.5 hours. And then they can go back to their own individual realities.
The creativity and the spirituality is all one. With my spirituality being together, I can more or less call upon my creativity. You understand? So it's all oneness. You can't have one without the other.
What is the tendency to accomplish something, then to contemplate it? And
every time I am able to accomplish something and create a reality from an imaginary principle, bring it into, in other words, bring my imagination into a real world, I find that that's something that verifies my faith. You know, it lets me know that, hey, I must be doing it.
George Massenburg seems to take the same intense approach to his electronics as you put into your music. How did you two get together? It seems like a great marriage.
I met George through Lowell George, who was the lead guitarist with Little Feat. George had been living in Paris for like years, you know? And that's how I you know, that was our first meeting. But it was the beginning of a great relationship, because I was so particular about everything I did musically, and the same with him electronically. So just one of those things. We never said we were going to work together all these years and do these things we've done, but it's just one of those things that happened, you know? But he has made a great contribution to my life, you know, in many ways, you know, and hopefully me to his, you know.
We're friends, but I'm no star.
It is, you know, realizing part of a dream, but at the same time, the dream hasn't totally realized itself, because eventually we're going to have a lot of people around here. Like you see, B-Lord, it's going to be many others around here. We're all going to be doing things together. And it's coming at a good time, too, because with the industry changing the way it is, you know, as far as like this is a new era that we are, you know, embarking upon. We get a chance to deal with the video and this, that, and the other. So it's going to bring together a whole new conception of music and creativity.
This complex, you do call this the complex?
This is the complex, yeah. And
okay.
We have rehearsal facilities here. We have two studios with which are called George Massenburg Studios. They have all of George's electronic equipment and designs incorporated into their control room facilities. We have a sound stage here, which we're going to very shortly begin doing video production in. Everything in this building is designed around the musician and the artist. And our byline is that we provide a production facility that's with state-of-the-art electronics, with the comfort and environment needed by an artist for creativity.
I like to get in my car and just ride. I don't know where I'm going. I'll just get on the freeway or ride up in the mountains or somewhere and just ride, because I like that movement. And it gives me a chance to just reflect on whatever I'm working on, or else just reflect on my life, you know. The only thing that I personally want to be, and I believe this correlates with Earth, Wind & Fire, is the best that we can be, or the best that you can be as an individual. So when I go out and do these other productions, that is the main reason, so that I can learn, and then when we get back together as a group, I have something to offer, something to bring, instead of, you know, when Earth, Wind & Fire gets off the road, just take time off and go yachting or whatever. I can't do that. I have to stay up with my music and stay in contact with people and see where their heads are at. I love music and I love people, and to me, and traveling, and that's the way I've learned life, is by doing that.
Earth, Wind & Fire show is so unique, what with the pyramids and the special effects and the magic,
right,
and the music, the style of the music. How did that all evolve and come together? Because I can see your Egyptology in the show.
On a subconscious level, I think I always really wanted to be an actor, you know, but chose music first. So I think what we're actually doing, we are a bunch of musicians creating a theatrical atmosphere, you know. It's theater. It's basically theater. That's what it is to us. And it's in presenting theater, we're also presenting spiritually what we feel too. You know, the spirit form comes through the music, comes through the vocals, comes through our idea. But at the same time, it is a theatrical presentation, you know. And one reason that it started this way was because when we first came out, we were so new in what we were doing, till we wanted to keep the interest, and we wanted to keep the people's eyes glued on the stage. So we had to think of things to do in order to keep you watching every moment. And so then it evolved into something greater.
You put forth so much energy. Don't you ever just get tired?
You know, we do get tired because we really do it. You know, the whole time we're on stage, we give our all. But we're so hyped up to do it, to please and to give the people a good show till like it doesn't really come down on us until later, like after the show. It takes us 2 hours or 3 hours to come down after the show. I mean, we'd be that hyped up, you know. There's no drugs, nothing like that. It's just all motivation.
How do you take a show from concept to execution on stage?
Usually we come up with an idea, a magical idea or whatever, and we'll find someone who can help us execute that. And then, of course, the next thing is to have it scaled down to a smaller version and see will it work, you know. So we go into like 3 months preparation for this whole thing. We work out all the different situations for the show, the choreographing and what have you. And then we trial it. You know, in other words, we have some people to come out and check the first show out to see does it work. And then we'll go back and fix whatever needs to be fixed. And then
play. And some people say they had a lot more going on than just disco. But like they say, if the platform shoe fits, put the damn thing on.
Earth, Wind & Fire may be, in my opinion, the best R&B band of all time.
They were the Rolling Stones of black music for me. They were the great live band.
Earth, Wind & Fire were the brainchild of Chicago visionary Maurice White. Their fusion of different styles achieved success once he established a permanent lineup in the 70s. Among his new recruits was a gifted young co-singer called Philip Bailey.
Interesting thing about Earth, Wind & Fire is it wasn't just a band that just came together, guys playing, and then they just kind of fell into something. It was very deliberate, very specific. Maurice thought about an idea to infuse different elements of music together, sing about lyrics of higher consciousness, a higher thought.
This world of fantasy, spiritualism and mystic Maurice's obsession with ancient Egypt became an Earth, Wind & Fire trademark.
Those were things that he was checking out, and there were things that got people to thinking and gave the band a certain mystique.
Do you remember when it first started, September?
But even a band of Earth, Wind & Fire's stature couldn't ignore the disco boom for long, though their newfound simplicity did upset some purists.
Being an artist is kind of frustrating because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have to sell records, and you have to be abreast of what's going on.
Earth, Wind & Fire at that point was one of the biggest groups in the world, but they felt obligated to address the dance floor very directly and go Boogie Wonderland.
When that record first came out, the word boogie was a bit cheesy, yeah. You know, and the word, Boogie Wonderland, yeah. But it didn't sound like that then. It was 1978 and it was fucking Boogie Wonderland. Boogie Wonderland. Dance. Dance. Boogie Wonderland. Hey, hey, dance.
Earth, Wind & Fire was always big fans of Broadway, and we said people can sit home and just play the songs. When they come to see us, we've got to give them something that makes them remember the band.
They used to do a stage show at one point where they used to climb inside a rocket ship, and they used to use all the tricks of Las Vegas, basically. You know, they would climb inside a rocket ship at the climax of the show, and the rocket ship would take off, and they had disappeared.
Their shows may have calmed down a bit over the years, but Earth, Wind & Fire still remain a big box office draw. Their record sales did decline in the 80s, although Philip Bailey's solo career has seen him emerge from a terrifying collaboration with Phil Collins to release a total of 9 solo albums. Meanwhile, Maurice White is no longer a full-time Earth, Wind & Fire member, although he continues in the wings as the band's inspiration. And with another new album in the pipeline, disco's magical groovers show no signs of fading away.
Stop! Look, I just gotta say this. I hate fade-outs. Now, why can't the band just play it and end it like they do live?